Welcome to another episode of Constantly Calibrating. I'm back to host you again this week, barring some technical difficulties. And my name is Brad. This week we're down to 3 men, but we aim to bring you the most exciting content possible nonetheless. Josh, Justin, what's going on, guys?
Last week we were at an all-time high of 5 men. Now we're down to 3 men. We're doing well heading into this 200th episode in Extra Life, but I'm doing quite well. I'm actually still in really good mood of things. Came up with a really cool idea for us, for what we did with the GTA recording yesterday, and how to end with future GTA recordings. By us, I mean everyone minus the great explodey fireball here.
Okay. So is this story time now? Am I telling? Well,
how is Justin doing first? Let's
playing Battlefield and hating my life.
Oh, so not much changed the game. Cool, gotcha.
No, not much.
I love you. I sorry.
So, what happened was...
Yeah, so let's get the Brad story. What happened to you, Brad?
So I don't get to tell stories much. So we're sitting here. We're about to set up for a GTA recording, Let's Play. Was it Sunday afternoon? We're literally about to start the recording process. And my whole computer just goes... black screen, fans are off, there's no warning, nothing.
I mean, we literally, just to clarify, had Audacity running, everyone had 2 sets of OBS running for both webcam.
That's what killed it.
That might have done it, because it just killed about everyone else's thing after you died. But we had that going, had a bunch of different shit going all at once. I was about to do the intro, pretty much, is where we were at. And then suddenly... I realized Brad hasn't been talking for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that one's coming out.
It is.
I want to see it just to see what kind of biker hijinks you guys get up to.
Oh, well, I just need Justin's footage. That's all.
That might be a problem with that.
Okay, well then I have myself and Ryan's footage, which, by the way, both of our footage broke. Because we're cursed for GTA.
Yes, it is, and mine's broken.
We're not allowed to have GTA. Okay.
But I came up with an idea how to use it all the same, and we're going to record more GTA because I have a really good idea for what we can do in it. And it's actually pretty genius, and we will talk about it later. But continue on with your story, Brad.
So what happened was, apparently it was a power supply failure. That's all we can figure. And so I go and I buy a new power supply. I hook everything up. I turn the computer on, and my GPU just goes poosh, and it smokes. And I'm like, that's not right. What was that? What was that? And then it's on fire. And I'm like, let's turn that off now. So I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't know if the old power supply blew it. I don't know if the video card was actually the cause of the blackout originally. And I don't know if I maybe shorted the video card myself when I was cleaning it, when moving all around the cables. I took it out to clean it really good. I don't know what happened, but that's my first case fire. It was scary, and I'm very lucky that that's all that happened. And I did have a backup card, but not one good enough to do the streaming on my end. So that's why we're having some technical difficulties tonight, because I'm the one with all these things just set up, ready to go.
Yeah, and I was less prepared than I thought I was. So yeah, but yeah, so a lovely little case fire. Yay!
It was. I thought I was going to cry. I just sat there and stared at it for like 15 minutes. And Laura's like, "We'll fix it, okay?" I'm like, I couldn't even speak.
Oh, I know. I've been there. I've been there before. I completely understand.
So it figures literally the day after we order the laptop, my rig decides to go up in flames. Quite early.
I thought that was really funny. That was what Charnel and I were discussing as well. We were like, I was telling Charnel the whole story, and she's like, "Well, didn't they just get a new computer?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, well, one that's that's Laura's, and also they're not going to have it yet." It's like, well, when they order, I'm like, "Yes, sir." She's like, "They'll have it in a couple days." I'm like, "That's not how buying computers works, babe." That's you dealt with me with enough computer stuff to know that it does not take a couple of days to get.
For what it's worth, I bought an MSI through Best Buy, and all I can figure is they're not just pulling it out of a warehouse. They custom make these, I think, to order when they're ordered, because it's a 9-day turnaround time, which seems about right.
Unless it's a really big warehouse.
Yeah, but it's It's very nice. I'm very excited. And the good news is my fire card is actually still under warranty, and the RMA is in progress. So
that's lucky as hell.
Yeah.
EVGA is apparently really, really good with their support. Everything's 3 years through them. So
That's why I usually buy EVGA stuff. The computer sitting over there, my old one, was EVGA because I bought it for that specific reason.
But they're either going to give me the same or better card based on performance.
Okay.
So I could end up with something like a 970 or who knows.
I mean, at the very least, you'll end up with what you had, and it'll be a new, I imagine a new card. So
it would be at least a repaired one.
At the very least, a repaired one. So it'll be new for all intents and purposes.
Come on, we just know repair means they had a problem. We fixed it. That's what GameStop tells us.
So that's enough
well.
about probably my case fire for now.
And that's the name of the episode: Calibrating a Case of Fires.
Yes, I'm going to jump ahead of our main topic because I want to knock these others out because they're probably going to be quick with just 3 of us. So funny thing, we were talking about what the name of the next Red Dead game would be last week, and we were all wrong because Rockstar is being lazy and just going for the easy Red Dead Redemption 2.
I don't know if we're wrong
Red
yet.
Dead Retribution. Sorry, what, Justin?
I don't know if we're wrong yet. I mean, it could be placeholder, but granted, it's a year for it coming out, so...
I don't know. That at this point, I feel like it's, unless Rockstar has a change of heart, I feel like it's still going to be RDR2, which it's a case essentially of someone in their marketing team looked at brand. They essentially ranked brand knowledge and brand understanding at a more important than brand recognition is more important than brand continuance. So being the sense that people will know Red Dead Redemption better than they're going to know Red Dead is how they essentially looked at this.
And they're probably like, God, we don't want them to go back and look at Revolver. This is really us.
Exactly. So, or potentially that. So, but I personally decided Red Dead Retribution is what I'm going to call it in my own head.
Well, it all depends on the story, and maybe none of these other R words actually fit for the storyline, too.
True. We still really know, we know the trailer came out, and essentially the trailer was a very pretty trailer.
Oh, yes.
It really set the scene, and as someone who's a huge fan of the Old West, the Wild West kind of stuff, it pulled me in, but we were given no information on gameplay, no information on story, or I maybe next to none. We had you can come up with ideas, but there's really nothing there.
Talk about there's dogs fighting vultures, there's little rats running around, there's animals eating other animals. Plenty of stories.
There's iReaper.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? I want to be excited about Red Dead, and I just realized, I think what my problem with it is, and it's not that I don't like it, it's that I don't, and I could be wrong, because of the time period, there is restrictions on what you can do based on the restrictions in technology. Whereas with GTA, you can do all sorts of things because the technology gives you just more options for story, for hijinks, for free world. This, you got horses and you got mechanical guns and people. I don't know what you could do. I mean, you could have like a stampede. You could build a barn.
Trains.
They have a train heist. Okay, right now, if they do a train heist, I will buy it and we will record it if they have multiplayer.
Well, I can actually see them do like gang robberies. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's the thing is, I want to see them. My hope for Red Dead is we already know it's a Rockstar game. At its worst, it's going to have an above average story. And it's going to have an above average single player. Like that's at its absolute worst. The worst games that Rockstar has made, or has at the very least published in the last decade. You know, I'm thinking like LA Noire and stuff like that they've had some affiliation with at least had an above average experience. It may not have been phenomenal, but it's been there. So we know we're going to get that. We know we're going to probably get some good, strangers and freaks or whatever the hell it's called, side stuff. We know they'll probably do something, a variation of that, because they've been slowly expanding on that. We're going to get some decent mini games. We're going to get, hunting was a thing that, as a person who hates hunting in the real world personally, I was obsessed with in Red Dead Redemption. So we know we're going to probably get an expansion on that.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of saw like the cowboy carrying a deer back on the horseback.
True. So my question is, it's purely about the multiplayer. Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer was good, but it was the same as GTA 4, where it was underutilized and underserviced. We live in a post-GTA Online world now. So you have to, and they've already said that they are going to have a focus on multiplayer online component.
Is copyrighted.
Yeah, so Red Dead Online is going to be a thing. So I want to see how us as content creators, or the other major content creators like, Achievement Hunter, are going to what's going to be viable for us. So I want to see Old West heists. I want to do a train job. I want to do all those those things. I want to rustle up, I could do a cattle rustle thing where you you break into someone's farm and steal their cattle.
I want them to do zombies again.
Yes.
I still have to play that
zombie thing, and I want them to do it again, just because I'm gonna stick by my guns, and say that I feel like the genre, the time period, the setting lacks the options of GTA. That said, I want a space opera from Rockstar next.
I have
of Red Dead and GTA.
I have asked for a space story. Like the two franchises I've wanted to see a space story out of, and this is just across all stuff, not just video games. The two franchises I've wanted to see a space story from for about 10 years now is I want to see a Rockstar space story, and I want to see a Kevin Smith Clerks space story. I've said that for years, but that's what I've said for 10, 20 years now.
Give Kevin Smith time. He's on the He'll get there.
Well, he jokingly announced that Clerks years ago when Clerks 2 came out, he jokingly said, if we do Clerks 2, where will it go? I don't know, Clerks in space. And that was what gave me the idea. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but still.
I don't know. All it took was talking about, let's put a dude in a war suit and make tusks, so.
Fair enough.
That was born from one podcast.
And all it took was some financial and studio difficulties with Mallrats, and one person online saying to him, "Why don't you just make it a TV series for that to turn into a TV series?" So, no question. Just to tackle the chat stuff here with iReaper really quickly. He said he's hyped up, just waiting to see the gameplay, and he's also never really played the multiplayer much. I assume that's in regards to Red Dead. So I got so hyped up on Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer that I bought an Xbox 360 and a copy of Red Dead Redemption for my original co-founder of Calibrating, Steven. I bought those for him just to play. Yeah, we didn't play it.
Wow. And that's why I'm kind of wondering what the whole gang thing is about at the end. Is that supposed to be hidden online? Is that saying, hey, we're going to incorporate online? And kind of I wonder if they're going to mesh them together somehow. And I kind of worry about that too. I mean, I don't expect Rockstar to kind of take away focus from the single player thing. It's just they made so much money off of Grand Theft Auto Online. It's been so successful. Something they probably didn't expect to go on this long.
I don't think to this degree. I mean, look, they have kind of I was about to say that they wouldn't forsake the single player of Red Dead, but I don't know. They've kind of forsaken the single player of GTA 5. This is going to officially be the first modern Grand Theft Auto kind of thing that doesn't have any kind of expandability for the single player. Granted, it's only the second one, mind you, but you know what I mean.
Grant, and also it's also not just got to think this is Rockstar's first game being built on this generation's hardware too.
True.
There's a lot of there's a lot of questions, and simply put, you have to assume. So my opinion is they shouldn't have debuted Red Dead 2 a year ahead. They should not have debuted Redemption this early. They should have pulled a page out of Bethesda's book and not brought it up until at most 6 months out. I think that's what they really should have done, just to garner the most hype for it. But to be fair, the fan base and just gaming community in general has been kind of screaming on the internet for 2 straight years about it. Every single time there's a convention, every time there's an expo, they have been just losing their goddamn minds. The rumor is Red Dead is going to be debuted because we all knew it was coming. So I can't blame Rockstar for debuting it when they did. But they now are in this point where it's much like the topic we're going to get to with the Switch. They need to start showing stuff, real stuff, within the next month or two.
I don't think they need to.
I feel I feel at this point they've got to show something.
Here's my interesting thought. What do they know about the video game awards that made them go debut this ahead of that? What's going to debut at the video game awards that could take away from them?
Another
so you're
Batman, as always.
Well, another Arkham, something related to Arkham, let's assume. But so you're saying, okay, so your question is just assuming that they would what we were assuming last week, that they would debut a real trailer, because we did record last week's podcast about 12 hours before they announced the trailer was coming on Thursday. Yeah. So we assumed that we would get it with the VGAs. So assuming that really was a plan at some point, you're trying to figure out what the major thing is going to be shown.
Yeah. What does the industry know that we don't? That the most anticipated game outside of like Zelda and Half-Life 3 is getting a random middle of the week debut at a non-event,
at a non-important month. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah. Because it's Rockstar. They do what the fuck they want.
And then that's Rockstar does what they want because they know that they're Rockstar. You know, I think compared to almost any other developer out there, they are definitely one of the developers, one of the publishers that truly can get away with doing whatever. They can just go by the beat of their own drum. So I will agree with that. But I don't know, because my brain was about to say, well, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda is going to have its final trailer, but wait, no, in 7 days, in 2.5 weeks, that's when they're going to show that the next Andromeda shit off. We might see something at the VGAs, but it's not going to be comparable. So I'm trying to think through my head, unless we're getting Half-Life 3, you know what I mean? Yeah, the biggest joke in the industry. So, which again, Valve is the other company that can do whatever the fuck they want, beat of their own drum, and would just throw something out on a random Tuesday with no press and fanfare at 3:00 in the morning, just to see who noticed.
Only come back and be like, "Hey, this is out, and by the way, you can go and buy it today." Because they don't really need to hype it up. People who know Valve or already have Steam, they'll plaster it all over there. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Valve could literally go at 3:00 in the morning Eastern U.S. time. Could just put Half-Life 3 on Steam and not say one fuck, could just maybe tweet at most, fine then, nothing else, and that would be the number one selling game by 8 a.m. of all time on Steam.
Yep.
Because it would be completely word of mouth, because Valve is by the beat of their own drum. I'll take back what I said earlier, more so than Rockstar, more than probably any other company. So again, I have no idea what we're going to see at the VGAs. I can't. I've been looking over stuff, my own little rumor notepad, and I got nothing.
As an aside, we everybody I think has picked up on the hint that it might be a Magnificent Seven style story, and I kind of hope that's what they do with it.
It's one of the most classic stories in the West.
Everybody except for the guy on the right side is wearing a hat, and he appears to be bald. So maybe that's your Native American.
Actually, I think IGN. I know IGN broke it down. They pointed out some interesting parts about the gang. Like, there's one one of the cowboys kind of had some frills around their kind of wrists, cuffs. So possibly a female character. There's one that looks like they're wearing Cherokee type leggings. So probably have a Cherokee character. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. Also, storyline, I know everybody's thinking, prequel, it has to be, but it also could just be another story in tandem, taking place at the same time as Strong Marston, but just in a different place in the country.
Well, that's true. My theory at this point is what I said last time. I know most people are jumping to that we're going to see Dutch's gang. Most people jump to the conclusion that we're going to see a young John Marston and we're going to play a different character in that gang or in a rival gang or something like that. I would personally, at this point, I want to see something that potentially overlaps with John's story. Maybe you do start a little bit earlier because, again, we are in Red Dead Redemption 1 at the end of the Old West, essentially. So maybe something that does start 5-10 years early and maybe expands. I wouldn't mind seeing them do something kind of like what the Mafia games do, just telling a story across a very large amount of years.
Yeah. I guess the only time... Well, technically, did this Grand Theft Auto 5. It seems like the evolution of it. Grand Theft Auto 4, they did all the DLC, but all those took place at the same time as Nico running around.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 5 decided, let's make them all 3 part of the game, and you just get to control them all anyways. So
I don't see us controlling 7 characters.
I feel that's excessive.
You'd be surprised.
Well, okay. maybe you choose a few characters to control. Like, I could see us maybe having, like, again, 3 characters, or even 4 characters, and then they each have, like, their partner.
Possibly. They kind of like their overarching storylines or their crossing storylines, so I can see that happening.
What about that about multiplayer?
What's that?
What if you do have the whole gang, but in the story mode, each mission, you select 3 or 4 of them. And on some missions, certain ones are required no matter what for the storyline to progress.
So you're thinking kind of like a Mass Effect or Dragon Age squad kind of system?
Yeah, you've got a squad, and you can rotate through them like GTA 5. So
it could work
I think it works.
It could potentially work. I mean, if the AI is there, kind of thing, which, I mean, that's not that hard of AI. You could potentially, have them in situations where, you're playing this character who's covering, the door for a heist. You essentially do the heisty kind of things. It could work.
I'm down with this. I like this idea.
All right. We started a bit late, but we are also going to have to end not as late as we started. So let's maybe move on to the trailer stuff before we get to Nintendo.
It's such a big week.
Every
site released everything. Yeah,
that Thursday was the busiest Thursday. I'm so, part of me is upset that we don't put out daily news stuff anymore. At least they were building back to that, and the other part of me is so happy we don't do it, because I would have been busy for 12 straight hours making videos.
Yep. So we had 2 major movie trailers hit last week. We had the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 teaser, and we had the final Wolverine movie, which is now called Logan. I wanted to think there was something else there, but I really couldn't figure out what it was. The Guardians teaser, it is that. It's a teaser. There's lots of action shots and slow motion. And
they use music familiar from the first trailer to try to pull you in. It's a very well marketed trailer, the teaser.
And the funny thing is, they made that song sound creepy.
Yeah, they definitely, I don't know what they specifically did. I think they took the tempo down like 1%.
They took it down, and it's like it's playing down a long hallway with a weird echo.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, they keep bringing Mass Effect. No, but Mass Effect 2, one of the DLCs, I'm forgetting the name of it, does this thing where you end up going down. It's like kind of a little horror-y, kind of suspenseful, and they play the elevator music from Mass Effect 1, but it's like distorted, and it's like distorted, and it's coming from a long distance, and like it's being altered by AI, and like this AI screams every now and again, and it's one of the single scariest things I've ever played in a video game, because you take very joyous music, or even music we mock, and you filter it in a way, and that makes it 10 times more unnerving.
And at the end of the hallway, you find a hamster. An AI. I don't know.
Yeah, but the trailer was good for Guardians. I mean, obviously Drax and Leather Vest Groot steal the show. I'd say, but overall it looks good. I'm refusing to let myself get as hyped up for it as I got up for the first one, because that backfired pretty greatly on me to the point that I despised that movie in the theaters. Granted, that had less to do with the film and more that my own personal demons related to mothers dying of cancer, but
right.
Yeah. So that was more that affected me there. But that being said, I'm excited for the movie, but it's not something that I'm like frothing at the bit for.
Right.
My bits aren't frothing.
Ready to go. I'll go see it. Yeah, that's all I need to know. Just give me a release date and take my money.
But speaking of frothing bits,
Logan. It's old man Logan.
Yep.
And Dementia Charles Xavier.
It's the Logan of us. The last of Logan.
That's what I thought it was too. Jeez.
Honestly, I didn't think it when I first watched it. I thought his hair looked weird in that one scene everyone's comparing, but I didn't really think much of it. And then somebody posted it like 10 minutes after the trailer launch, and it just clicked in my brain, and I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, I mean, you just replace clickers with cyborgs, and you're good to go.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm not sold on this story.
I don't know how I am on the story quite yet. All I know is that might be my favorite trailer of all time. I have now watched that trailer more times than I watched the episode 7 trailer. Like, to be clear, I don't like Nine Inch Nails' Hurt. I don't like Johnny Cash's cover of it. I'm not a fan of any version, but it worked so perfectly for me in that trailer. The way it's synced up, I loved the visuals, and look, I loved the Wolverine. If not for Viper, who was pretty much useless, and I'd say I'm better off. I'm okay with the third act more than I was originally, but pretty much not for that. That probably would be my favorite superhero movie of all time, because the pacing of the first 2 acts to me is almost perfect, and I love the cinematography of that film. But now we're getting a R-rated Wolverine film, which about fucking time. If any character other than Deadpool needed an R-rated flick, it was Wolvie. I
agree.
Yeah, I don't know. The villain is nobody I've heard of, and I haven't
even looked into it.
I'm not against X-23, but it just doesn't feel like the right step to end the Wolverines trilogy on. Like, I am not super familiar with their relationship in the comic book world, but from my understanding, she kind of just does her own thing without him.
Well, I mean, I barely know better.
I know it's the film universe, and they get to do whatever they want to, but it just...
It's the Fox film universe, so...
Look, as I discussed in our formerly Issue Zero group, the fact of the matter is that this is them building up an out for Hugh Jackman, but to continue the Wolverine franchise. X-23 is going to become Wolverine, and it might be like 3 years before we see a movie, but that's going to be our Wolverine in the next movie. It might be called X-23, but it's going to be the continuation of this particular section of the franchise.
I'm 99% sure she has picked up the mantle in the current comic story.
Yes, no, X-23 is now Wolverine officially for about a year now.
The old yellow and blue and black, and she wears that.
And don't she get popular? And Marvel's like, God, we don't have that character either. Let's kill her off too.
Pretty much. No, I mean,
I'm not opposed to seeing it. I have, as much as people are like, the Wolverine movies are bad, they're kind of like a guilty pleasure.
All the X-Men movies are pretty much a guilty pleasure.
Depending. I mean,
yeah, but they're not Catwoman bad.
No, but I don't think
Catwoman bad. Well,
I don't even think. Look, I don't even think the first Wolverine movie, Origins, whatever. I don't even think is Catwoman bad. It's not a good movie by any means, but it's a decent action flick that just does not respect the property it's based off of. Is the problem?
Like X-Men 3.
But no, but exactly. I mean, X-Men 3, I first think is worse than Origins, but because I still think Origins has at least decent pacing. 3 is a difficult movie to make. It is so sluggish of a film. But I love the Wolverine because it is a really good samurai flick. It's a little campy, but overall, I found it to just be a very well paced, enjoyable, methodical action film until the third act, which kind of just turns into this weird fucking thing that I don't understand still.
I'm not sure much about the old storyline though. Like I'm trying to think what's coming on. Like, I'm trying to think, is Charles in his head or Charles actually there? Because I know in the old storyline, and they kind of say in the trailer, "What have you done?" He's kind of said we're the last or the mutants. Because isn't an old movie story or in the comics, like Wolverine actually kills all the X-Men?
In Old Man Logan, I think he killed a bunch of people, if I remember right. But there's also, rapist Hulks wandering the countryside and a bunch of other
can't forget about them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
just present yourself. You can't fight it.
But I mean, like that. I'm just saying, like, so, and there's an old man Hawkeye wandering around as well, if I remember right. There's a lot of stuff to the original story, but my theory is either Charles is in Logan's head this whole movie, as you said, or that scene where we see Logan and X-23 standing and Logan's like, shirt's all bloody and stuff like that, is they're standing over the corpse of Xavier that Logan killed for whatever reason. Or X-23 killed, for that matter.
I don't know, because I'm just excited to see, like, Patrick Stewart and, oh, wow, I forgot his name, we already said it. Anyway, it's just them running around being happy together. Driving trucks, eating dinner.
It definitely is interesting. I'm just enjoying the fact that they had to put old man makeup on Patrick Stewart to make him look old because that man hasn't aged. Actually, is de-aged over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they actually have to put old age makeup on a man. How old is Patrick Stewart now?
I don't know. They're like
60s.
Hold on.
Hugh Jackman's probably starting to look younger to me.
Patrick Stewart is 76.
Holy
Jeez.
shit, man.
Yeah, he's 76. Ian McKellen is 77.
That's amazing.
Patrick Stewart's wife is 37.
What?
Yeah, he just got married a year or two ago.
Wow. Okay.
I can't blame her.
Have you not seen the video she filmed of him being, I think, allegedly extremely high and trying to teach like double takes and stuff like that?
No, I'll have to watch that.
It's
later.
probably one of the funniest videos of all of on the whole internet. Patrick Stewart double takes, and the man is high. Like, I mean, it seems that way. If he's not, I'd be in a state of shock. But that was like right after they got married.
So I need to watch, I guess, the latest X-Men movie so that I understand how this is affected by.
I don't think
I
Apocalypse.
don't think it is.
I don't think Apocalypse is going to have anything to do with Logan, other than maybe a callback to it. But I can't, having watched Apocalypse and having seen the trailer for Logan and read a little bit of the synopsis, I can't see how they're going to factor into each other.
Because I know at the end of the second movie of the reboot, I don't remember the damn name of it.
Days of Future Pasta.
Yeah, like something he did changed everything. At the end of the movie, it was very unclear, and I don't want to dig into it. We can
The shortest version, I'm going to say, Days of Future Past, because of some changes, it essentially retconned Last Stand and Origins and the Wolverine out of continuity, and essentially made it that Jean lives a long, happy life. And Scott lives as well. Like, that's really the majority of what,
X-Men 3 never happened.
X-Men 3 Origins and the Wolverine never happened. And that's just about all it did. Apocalypse obviously doesn't acknowledge that because Apocalypse is not a time travel film. But now Logan, it looks like, is going to be taking place now in this new future from where Days of Future Past went. It looks like we're about 20 years on from that future point.
Okay. All right. I'm clear. So let's switch things up, guys. Transitions.
Back to video games.
So another thing we got screwed on last week is we were like, "Hey, where's the NX? What's it at? What's going on?" And like 2 days later, they're like, "Hey, this is the NX. It's called Switch now."
Here's a 4-minute video.
We recorded. We record us live on Monday nights. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/constantly calibrating for people listening to the audio cast. Please come watch live. That being said, we did the show Monday night, and then Wednesday morning, I think they announced, we're going to be debuting the NX tomorrow, and we were like, the fuck? We just talked about this on Monday night where we were like, we had a Where's the NX topic.
Yep, and there it is. So, how do you describe this thing without video? It's kind of difficult.
I mean, it's what we hypothetically came up with last week based on a lot we heard. It's pretty much exactly. It's actually very close to what I imagined. You have a system that's kind of we in shape. It's just in shape. It's a stand up rectangular thing. But when you want to get on the go, you go
tablet.
Take your controller, take the little side pieces off the Joy-Cons. Stupid name. You slap it on the side, you pull it out, and there you have a nice size screen. And you can take it on the go. That screen allows you to hook up multiple different controllers. You could hook up the screens to each other so you could play multiplayer games, and there's a lot of different facets to it. And, I mean, honestly, aside for the name of everything related to this, which I think we'll be fine with in a year, but aside from the name of everything related to the system, this is literally what we wanted the Wii U to be.
Yes.
From an outside perspective, this is what it was. This is Nintendo's do-over, and unless they really fuck up marketing or this thing has like a 30-minute battery life or some really garbage thing, personally, I feel like this is going to be maybe not like Wii levels of a success, but this is going to be, the DS levels of success.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I know they're going to do that one announcement. Something about it's going to get us goes, oh, Nintendo, why? But I mean, just look at that video they put out. Look at her targeting. It's there's no grandmas bowling. There's no
grandmas
kids.
bowling. There's no kids. They are specifically targeting millennials with nice, high end lofts in San Francisco.
Who apparently all have attractive friends.
Pretty much.
They have rooftop parties because that's a thing.
God, look, I like that trailer, but it is so ridiculous. Though the version where somebody put X is gonna give it to you dubbed in over it is probably one of the best fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And X is gonna give it to you is just like the best. So I'm gonna state on, you Justin, you mentioned that they're gonna have that unless Nintendo really comes out and says something really stupid, as they sometimes tend to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna repeat something. I cannot remember who said it, if it was Colin Moriarty or Greg Miller on Kind of Funny, with their reaction video they put out, but they made a comment that what Nintendo now needs to do is in the next couple of weeks, they have their investor meeting, this Thursday or Friday, I forget which it is.
Mm-hmm.
They need to either come out with this investor meeting or very shortly after, very quickly, and tell us the battery life. Tell us exactly how powerful it is. Tell us all of these questions that we all know are going to be negatives.
Yep, onboard storage.
The onboard storage. They need to tell us all of these things that we all know are going to be negatives, and they need to tell us now. Not in February, not in March. They have to tell us now so that we can get angry now, and then they can rebuild the hype. Because if they come out fucking telling us this shit, in the middle of February, then that is going to kill their market.
Okay, that's a call and ask response if I ever heard it, so it's definitely calling.
Well, we've also long ago discovered that aside from the use of fancy words, I tend to say things a lot like that man.
Oh yeah.
He's secretly like my father traveled back in time or some shit.
But I mean,
look forward to telling him that one day.
I gotta give Nintendo, they showed you exactly what this thing is. I'm not wondering what it does. I'm not wondering, is this a new system? Unlike the Wii U?
The Wii U was the worst marketing, I think, in the history of video games.
I worked at GameStop, and I was confused if the Wii U was a new system or not.
Fair enough.
I like how they were very subtle with their trailer as well. Like, there were answers there for questions.
Oh, yes.
In it. So does it support amiibos? Yes, she's got the amiibos set up right beside it. What kind of, media is it going to use? It's going to use physical cards. We're going, back towards the old school DS style.
What kind of controllers are this? What, how can I use it? Like, anytime you came up with a question, they answered it for the most part.
Already porting older games over like Mario Kart and Splatoon. The answer is yes, also with new content.
Yep.
Are they ports though?
Well, so everyone's understanding is that they are upgraded ports. That they're not going to be. We're not getting a new Mario Kart. We're not getting We're not getting Splatoon 2. We're not getting Mario Kart. I forget what we're up to now. 9 or something. 8 was the last one. So I'm saying it's not going to be Mario Kart 9. But we're going to be getting.
It's going to be called Mario 8 Switch.
But no, I'm actually sick about this. Literally about to say, we're getting Mario Kart 8 Switch. We're getting Splatoon Switch. They're going to drive home that name and use Switch in as many products as they fucking can. Because right now, when you type Nintendo Switch into anything, for images specifically, even a week later, you are still getting the RF Switch for the fucking Super Nintendo or the N64. That's 90% of what your search results are going to be still at this point. So they need to have the word Switch in as many products as they possibly can to take for just SEO purposes.
And see, I don't mind that they're doing that, but I do mind that they're porting. I don't want to buy Mario Kart 8 again. I don't want to buy Splatoon again.
That's also another question. Are they going to do an upgrade, or are they going to actually, like, you bought this before, here's discount, buy just additional content?
Well, that's gonna.
How are they gonna prove it? Because more than anybody else, they're still physical media.
Yeah, do I have to buy Super Mario World again?
Well, that's the thing is, okay, Nintendo, the biggest question, everyone's talking about battery life, which is extremely important. It's a portable system. That's an extremely important question.
Key thing right there.
Everyone's talking about storage, another important question. But my question is, how are accounts going to be handled? When I say accounts, I mean,
network infrastructure.
Are you going to own anything in any way, shape, or form, at least on the same way you own something on Xbox Live or PSN? Are you going to own things? What is their achievement trophy system going to look like? What is your ability to rebuy stuff going to look like?
God,
These are my questions because we already know we're going to get answers to the battery thing and it's not going to be good. We already know we're going to get answers to how powerful it is and it's not going to be phenomenal. We already know we're going to get answers to the storage thing and it's also not going to be good. We know we're going to get answers to all of these questions. So my thing is all about the accounts, the things we don't really know what we're going to get.
Yeah, and of course what I would love is actually what Microsoft is doing right now, which I don't think enough people give them credit for. Microsoft gives you ownership of what you bought. And this is even back to the 360 era if you bought it. If you kind of notice on the updates, 1 or 2 of your old games are still popping up on your side as, do you want to download them now on Xbox One? They're probably doing backwards compatibility, the best I've seen.
I would say so at this point. I mean, it was funny. Microsoft, the one who we all got well, not we all, but at large, the gaming community got angry at about backwards compatibility related stuff, ended up doing it the best, I'd say at this point of anyone. Also, the only one that actually really put effort in this current generation.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's scoot on over.
Oh, that's the other concern.
Just a quick heads up. You guys can continue. I gotta run in about 15 minutes. So
okay.
I'm getting the bell.
I think we can probably...
We kind of mentioned our worries, but the other worry is how much are the accessories going to be to put them where we want them at? How much is that extra battery pack going to be? How much?
Well, here's the other... And how much is it going to be to replace those Joy-Cons when you lose them? Because you're going to fucking lose them.
How much will the anti-flare screen be when I go walk my dog outside in a park? Because that's not happening. You're not playing that thing in direct sunlight, man.
No,
that was my biggest issue with the whole controller. Yeah, let's walk the dog. Let's ignore the dog while he runs himself around the park. What?
That poor dog, he just wanted attention.
Well, look, but here's the thing is they're not... Here's my comment in the marketing. They're not promoting neglecting your dog or your child or whoever. No. But a lot of people are going after them for that. They're acknowledging the fact that human beings in this day and age are neglectful fucking assholes. And they're like, look, hey, you're already going to neglect your dog and be on your phone. Why not play our video game system? That's what they're tapping into.
Fair enough.
Still, you're not going to play it outside. That's my whole gripe.
My concern is we know we're going to have... we have questions over the battery life. But if you noticed, what about the battery life of the Joy-Cons? Like, how is that going to affect the overall power as well?
They're just going to put that old PS4 controller battery in there so it only lasts, maybe an hour.
Yeah, there's a lot... Look, there are a lot of freaking questions about every aspect of every component related to the system. I mean, the sheer degree of things... Nintendo did a great job with putting out this phenomenal, this destructive, emotionally destructive in a good way trailer. But what the fuck are they actually now doing? Like, that's the thing is, again, they have to, before this year is out, we have to know at least a minimum of half of the questions we've asked tonight have to be known.
Right now, all they gave us is the concept of what you're going for.
Yeah. We need a projected launch list. Not confirmed, but projected.
Which, I mean, look, we have double the developers, publishers, people they're working with that. So that right there gives us a projected idea.
I mean, I can only imagine. I heard it's rumored, but Bethesda's working with them. I can only guess that by how long Skyrim was on that commercial for.
I still say Skyrim was exclusively... Because, Stephen Totilo of Kotaku pointed out that he decided to go back and watch the Wii U trailer, the original debut, and pointed out that 3 of the games shown in that never came to the system, even as a rumor. So my personal theory still on Skyrim is, maybe it'll come, but Skyrim Remastered is coming up pretty soon, right?
Yes.
My thinking is that Bethesda next week. So Bethesda essentially bought space for all intents and purposes in the trailer, because just to remind you, hey, Skyrim. So you have Skyrim in your mind. Well, I can't wait for the Switch, so I'm just gonna get the remaster thing right now, and then with the hope of that you're also gonna wait for it, and then that'll allow them to gauge if it's actually worth the follow through. I mean, they have to be somewhere in development, obviously, but I feel like that was just purely a marketing thing for Skyrim.
I might be wrong. Reaper might be right.
Yeah, I think Reaper might be right on that it's coming out later this week.
It is.
Who could tell now with all the games that you can pay $100 and play 4 days early?
Well, all the games you pay to play early, and not just that, but the fact that games don't come out on a specific day of the week really anymore.
Yeah, and, honestly, I think as much as people want Skyrim on this thing, it'd be a bad idea. People would die on the toilet.
No, there's that. Well, here's the thing with this. They're putting over quote unquote hardcore games onto this system is what a lot of understanding is. It's hard enough for most of us to get off the toilet as it is with our simple mobile games or just checking Twitter or things like that. Like Preparation H needs to sponsor this fucking system. No, I'm telling you, they need to fucking sponsor this goddamn system because the hemorrhoids are going to be through the roof for people.
So we know what our concerns are for the most part. I want to see different attachments for controllers. I want to see I don't something innovative there. Like maybe if you could keep the cost down on it and do it for multiple games. Say, hey, buy this game and use this cool, extra side thing because it's made that way. Why wouldn't you use that to your advantage? Put a camera on it. Put a different style of Joy-Con on. Put a bigger Joy-Con on it with, fat hand buttons on it. Things like that.
There's a lot of things, and there are a lot of things still up in the air about this. Is what I think what it ultimately comes down to. I
forgot we ignored that we saw a Mario 64 ass looking Mario game.
I mean, we saw Red Dead Mario.
I think we saw a Mario that was like, oh man, remember that Mario 64 thing that somebody made in an Unreal Engine? Let's just use
that. It was a Mario game. It looked like Mario. I mean, without an actual trailer and proof of concept, it's just advertising to me until we see otherwise.
Yeah, but he specifically showed you some things like the 3 jump and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And it confirms they're absolutely making at least the idea of the Mario game they're making, which is the Mario game we've been waiting for since, I guess, Galaxy.
I mean, I've been waiting for the Mario game since 64. This is what a lot of people have been saying is, are we finally getting Mario 128?
Possibly. I'd be down for that. I want another Metroid that's good.
So we don't want one done by Team Ninja that Samus speaks, and we kind of wish he didn't.
Yeah.
And I want a new there's no other way to say it. I want a new IP that's not Asian, not campy, and mature from Nintendo.
From Nintendo.
I don't know what it would be, but I want that.
I can see him producing. I can't see him actually making it.
I don't know.
But
I don't honestly know what I want for this system.
As long as it has a way to plug in USB ports for charging or something like that.
There were 2 USB ports on the side of
the
dock.
There were.
On the side of the dock, but I'm wondering on the actual tablet itself. Because I'm thinking about...
that would kill the battery.
Well, I'm thinking about... Well, no, not a USB to run something off it to charge the thing. Like, to plug into a USB port.
Oh, so you want to be able to essentially be able to plug it in at an airport or something?
Yeah, like it's a phone.
Or phone or like another game system.
They have to do that.
That seems like a pretty basic thing because, I mean, what the hell happened? Okay, so you go on a vacation with your Switch and you're going to bring your... I mean, I don't think most people who are going to go on like a business trip or something are going to bring the fucking dock of the Switch with them.
They're not. There will be an AC adapter for it.
But you just mentioned a dock too and USB ports, so I'm wondering what can you actually do when this thing is docked? Will my GameCube adapter work? Hopefully.
I don't know. We have a lot of questions and we need a lot of answers on it. Is what it really just ultimately boils down to.
Please don't tell me about that for one game that I never used it for.
You did.
Oh.
We did. What was this Zelda background music trailer thing you wrote in here?
Oh, that was the thing you posted, that Japanese trailer that you posted right the morning of the Switch announcement. That was just that long trailer that we saw that came out. That it was just a very long trailer. Just showed a lot of the game, showed a lot of the survivability. It was just essentially a lot of what we saw at E3, but just a little bit further along in development.
I will go on record. That was shot for shot the shit from E3. I'm positive. I watched it so much that day. It is burned in my memory.
I don't know. There was a few things.
There was a little bit new in it. But
there was a little bit new.
Trailers shot for shot taken from what they did at E3.
I will give you that a lot of the same, but there was a few things in there that I didn't remember seeing before.
The only thing I remember for E3 is how much people on the show is like, oh, look, you can run around Link with no clothes. I'm like, great. Just going to keep doing that for a few hours straight.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So do we have anything else we want to touch on with the Switch?
Not really.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited, and
I'm down.
At this point, I mean, this is a day one pre-order for me.
Yeah, it's right Nintendo now. Targeting gamers, and that really excites me. It's like I don't see a gimmick with the machine as far as gameplay goes.
No, and the people who are calling the fact that you can dock it and take it out of the dock and back and forth, that's a gimmick. Take your head out of your ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if it could run game like Skyrim, it could essentially run most games you play, because just name me a game that's been made for this generation, but honestly toned down, couldn't be played on last generation.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's not a damn gimmick. I mean, it's a gimmick, but it's a gimmick in the same sense that almost everything is a gimmick. This is not fucking motion controls, you know what I mean? This is not the tablet. Like, this is an actual evolution of console/mobile gaming.
Because it's been so incremental from like the PS2 to PS3, PS3 to PS4, Xbox 360, so on. Like, all it's been mainly visuals. There's some stuff they've been doing, like multi-directions, more stuff it can handle, but essentially, like, as core games, I haven't seen anything new to gameplay added as generations go. Nintendo's giving us a new way to play stuff. VR's giving us a new way to play stuff, so I'm really getting excited for this stuff coming out soon.
No, I think,
it's like stuff this one more time.
No, but this is the next generation of gaming stuff. Like, when it comes down to it, because we have, if this succeeds, we have hybrid consoles. Yep. We'll also have VR going on in the other space, and then we have augmented reality going on in this other space. Like, core gaming is still going to stay where it's at, but we now have these 3 other expansions going off that are going to both pull people in of different ideas, but also allow us gamers to do different things.
The Switch VR is going to be the equivalent of like Google Cardboard Box, where you just put the tablet into the thing.
Oh God, yeah, and I cannot wait. Reaper's asking us
put the handles on the outside too, and you play games like this.
Oh no, absolutely. Actually, I just got this like weird Lobot image in my head now. But Reaper's mentioning here, while we're on the topic of Nintendo, that Pokédex leak for Sun and Moon, I'm gonna say right now, I have not read into it because looking at it wouldn't mean anything to me. Even as a long-term Pokemon fan, it wouldn't mean anything to me. And I would rather just play it when, come across stuff with my wife. And I do the one thing I saw was the Alola form, Dugtrio, or as I think most people are calling it, Hansen. Which if you catch one of those and you don't name it Hansen, then I don't want to be friends with you. But so
catch it.
Yeah, so I still need to like even fucking play the demo. Like, Charnel, my wife, and I both download the demo, and because there's some semi-exclusive stuff that you could transfer into the main game when it releases, but I haven't fucking had time to even consider. I've been so busy with Extra Life.
30 minutes.
Can I just name him Mbop?
You can name him. Yes, okay. Name him after Hanson songs. Yeah, well. Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, I just flashed back to the first compliment I ever got from a girl in like 7th or 8th grade, where she said, "You look a lot like Taylor Hanson," and I thought it was an insult, and I realized later that she was flirting with me.
Whoops.
Yeah, I regretted really quickly calling her a stupid bitch. Yeah, younger Josh had social issues.
Older Josh.
Yeah, I thought the same. I had to think about it. No. So, okay.
Let's get out of here.
Outro? You want me to do?
Go.
All right, let's do this outro stuff. So, before we get into the whole outro spiel, first off, we got a couple things coming up. We have the premiere of a new podcast from on the Constantly Calibrating Network. Jim Lincoln, who used to write reviews for us, is going to be debuting an every other week show on Tuesdays, not live or anything like that, purely audio podcast called Admit One, where he tackles a franchise, but it might be a specific movie, and he just walks you through them kind of thing. I listened to the pilot episode, which he sent me over last night, and I thought was extremely enjoyable. It was great for me personally to listen to, and this is as a fan of podcasts. I thought it was very enjoyable. There it is. Admit One is now, it is currently up on the iTunes store. Episode 0, as Brad is showing off right now, is just an introductory episode. It's just intro, outro, and a little bit of description. But episode debuting next Tuesday will be his Civil War episode, specifically Captain America Civil War, where he tackles that film and just essentially the Captain America franchise as a whole. Looking forward to, Jim's podcast being on. Again, Tuesdays, you'll find it at constantcalibrating.com and across all of our social media things. The other thing is go to constantlycalibrating.com/extralife. Go to the roster page, pick one of us, donate some money to Extra Life. We are going to be doing a 25-hour stream from November 5th at 8 a.m. Pacific time till November 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Why watch us instead of someone else? Why not watch a bunch of different people is my question. You can watch a lot of different things. Extra Life is one of the things you can tune across a bunch of things, but what we will be doing is we will be playing a bunch of different games, having a bunch of local people here in Arizona, and we will be playing with all of our whole group spread here, South Carolina, people represented as my fellow hosts here, and then our British people I think will be participating in some way, shape, or form. But we have a lot of stuff planned, a lot of giveaways planned of assorted things, anywhere from a year of PlayStation Plus, at some of our bigger stuff to, we got a few smaller things here. Got some mystery swag bags, some stuff I picked up at conventions over the years, a few different things, but we're going to be doing some tabletop stuff, we're going to be doing some video games, whole lot of shit. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. Assuming our networking stuff doesn't break, which I'm testing.
A whole lot of technical difficulties.
But we will be at, I am forgetting if it's 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Either 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. on Sunday. We will be on the Rooster Teeth website. Again, Pacific time. That being said, make sure, you can always end up watching there. It's a pretty good time. And, I think that's about it with Extra Life. So, constantcalibrating.com. YouTube.com/ConCalPod, where all of our on-demand stuff and videos come up. We have a lot of new content coming up every week. Every Saturday is the Catch-All Gaming News Show. Gotta make this thing shorter. Twitch.tv/ConstantCalibrating is where you can watch this live 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every Monday night. And we will be doing more Twitch stuff as time goes on. What else we got here? We got Twitter at ConCalPod. I'm at Bear Punch. Brad is at OG Xanos. Justin is at The Aging Gamer. Facebook.com/ConstantCalibrating. Instagram is Constant Calibrating. You want us to get a Snapchat? I don't know how to fucking use it, but I'll get a Snapchat. I have my personal one.
Snapchat's fun.
Snapchat's fun for, my personal things and using a bunch of stuff and then having all my friends ask me, why are you doing these filters on the toilet? Please stop sending me pictures while you're on the toilet.
And I forgot to turn off the little follow thing during our podcast. But thank you.
And, that's it for my outro.
I wish I'd used the Super Saiyan Snapchat filter when I was on the toilet last week. That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. But anyone else
Peter
have
needs
anything
that
to
filter.
add?
Nope, I'm good. And
that's all I got.
So, as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to us, be it live or in the recordings, and we will see you next time. Bid you? Good sign.
And bid you good sign off. Sorry. Bid you good sign off. You can do it. You can do it.
I bid you good sign off.